Okay, well, welcome. And I would like to call to order this special council meeting for Tuesday, March 24th. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Okay, seeing none, before we get going, I'm going to ask Kathy Bunting just to take attendance for the record.
Councillor Brennan. He's present.
Here.
Councillor Cornelison.
Here.
Councillor DeVete.
I'm moving it over here.
Here.
Councillor Elliott.
Here.
Councillor Mayhew.
Here.
Councillor Richard.
Here.
So
Councillor Ross.
Here.
Councillor Smith.
Here.
Councillor Vander Hayden.
Okay.
Councillor Vander Hayden. Councillor Warwick.
Here.
Is this stuff even going to be open? Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you're not coming today?
So, certainly is a very different looking
Already-
council meeting.
I've already.
And thankful to our IT department to be making this work. You know, we're going to take baby steps. We're going to get through it, and I have the utmost confidence in what lies ahead for us. So, why are we here? Well, we're in the middle of a COVID-19 global pandemic, and the province and Middlesex County have declared emergencies. And to be clear, as we're going, that this agenda for this meeting has been posted publicly, and the general public and the press are able to watch and hear the business that we are carrying out at this meeting by using our online streaming service, as was indicated on the agenda. And of course, that's through YouTube. It should be noted that delegations could provide input into the meeting electronically through video and/or audio teleconference, but there are no delegations for this meeting. So we have in front of us a resolution to amend the rules of procedure to electronic council meetings during a period of emergency. And I believe we all have the background on why that has happened. But just to sum it up, and Bill, if there's anything that you want to add to this, let me know. But the Lieutenant Governor issued an order of council under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act, which prohibits all organized public events of over 50 people. If Middlesex County were to hold a meeting with its councillors, a regular complement of staff, the public and the media physically present, Middlesex County would be at risk of breaching this order in council. In addition, Middlesex County considers the protection of the health and safety of the public to be the paramount concern right now. It is inappropriate to require the public to physically attend a meeting during COVID-19, while councillors have been provided the ability through legislation for their votes to be counted as quorum when participating in an electronic meeting, excuse me. So the reason that we're doing this is because the province enacted the Municipal Emergency Act to amend the Municipal Act 2001, subsection 238, 3.3 and 3.4, to allow for the votes of councillors to be counted as quorum when participating in electronic meetings in light of the COVID-19 emergency, and to allow this special meeting to amend Middlesex County procedural bylaw to permit meetings, and this would be regular, special, and other, to be held electronically during a declared emergency. Bill, is there anything that you wanted to add to that?
No, perfect.
Okay, I guess I should ask Does anybody have any questions or comments on the reasoning or the resolution in front of us?
The-
I don't
No.
see or hear any.
Okay, if not, we do have the resolution in front of us, and I do need a mover and seconder for that. Oh,
So moved. So moved.
Alan Mayhew?
Seconded. Seconded, Joanne.
Ina?
Yes, seconded.
Okay, so as I said earlier, we're going to have to, each vote is essentially a recorded vote. So Kathy's going to read out everybody's names and you'll just vote verbally. And I'm going to hand it over to Kathy right now.
So I'll just expect a yay or a nay on that motion. Counselor Brent,
Yay.
Counselor Burkhart Jessen. Yay. Counselor Cornelison,
Yay.
Counselor DeVeet,
Yay.
Counselor Elliott,
Yay.
Counselor Mayhew,
Yay.
Counselor Richards,
Yay.
Counselor Pop,
Yay.
Counselor Vanderhayden,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Warwick.
Yes.
That was unanimous.
Great. Okay. Amend the rules of procedure to permit electronic council meetings during a period of emergency. And a mover and seconder for the first and second reading.
I'll move.
Who is that?
Sorry, Counselor Elliott.
Okay.
Counselor Vanderhayden.
And and again, we're going to have to take everybody's vote.
Counselor Brennan,
Yes.
Warden Jessen,
Yes.
Counselor Cornelis,
Yes.
Counselor DeVeet,
Yes.
Counselor,
Yes.
Counselor Mayhew,
Yes.
Counselor
Yay.
Counselor
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Vanderhayden,
Yes.
Counselor Counselor Warwick.
It's cutting out so I can hear a little bit, but that's it. So if you're waiting for me, yes.
Okay.
Not unanimous. I think we're going to play with the volume on your line. Okay, and then we have to pass the third and final reading of the bylaw. So again, I need a mover and seconder for that.
Councilor Rob.
Counselor Smith.
Okay.
Third and final reading. Counselor Brennan,
Yes.
Warden Jessen. Counselor Cornelison,
Yes.
Counselor DeVeet,
Yes.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor May,
Yes.
Counselor Richard,
Yay.
Counselor Rock,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Vanderhayden,
Yes.
Counselor Warwick.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, now we just need to take a 5 minute, or it shouldn't even be 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minute recess while Kathy prepares the minutes for this meeting, because we're also going to pass these during this meeting. So everybody stay on the line, please. And remember, okay, so the minutes for the meeting that we're in right now are in front of you. It shouldn't take you long to go through. And with that in mind, I need a motion to accept the special meeting minutes of Middlesex County be approved as presented. A mover and seconder.
Looks like Brad Richards.
Okay,
Kathy.
and a seconder,
Joanne Vanderhayden.
Councillor Vanderhayden.
Joanne?
Yeah. You're seconding it. Okay, so now, again, I'm passing the iPad over to Kathy. Take the vote.
So this is to approve the minutes. Councillor Brennan. This is to approve the minutes.
Try again, Kathy.
Councillor Brennan.
Yes.
Warden Burkhart Jessen,
Yes.
Counselor Counselor Lesson,
Yes.
Counselor DeVito, Counselor DeVito,
Yes.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Mayhew,
Yes.
Counselor Richards,
Yes.
Counselor Rock,
Yes.
Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Vanderhayden,
Yay.
Counselor Warwick,
Yes.
unanimous.
Okay. Okay, and we need a mover and seconder to confirm the proceedings of the special meeting of the Council of the Corporation of the County of Middlesex for the first and second reading of the bylaw. Mover and seconder for that. Confirm the proceedings of the special meeting of the council.
Moved by Counselor Smith.
Thank you, Smith. And
Brennan, second it.
Councillor Brand. All in, we'll read it.
Counselor
Yes.
Warden Jessen,
Yes.
Counselor Ellison,
Yes.
Counselor DeVito,
Yes.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Mayhew,
Yes.
Counselor Richards,
Yes.
Counselor Rock,
Yes.
Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor
Yes. Yeah.
Counselor Hayden,
Yes.
Counselor Warwick,
Yes.
unanimous.
Okay. Okay, and for the third and final reading of, to confirm the mover and seconder for that, please.
So moved.
That's Councillor Mayhew,
Joanne?
Councillor Vanderhayden. All in favor?
Oh,
One more time. Just to confuse you, I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. Counselor Warwick,
Yes.
Counselor Vanderhayden,
Yes.
Counselor Smith,
yes.
Counselor Rock,
Yes.
Counselor Richards,
Yes.
Counselor Mayhew,
Yes.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor DeVito,
Yes.
Counselor Cornelison,
Yes.
Warden Burkhart Jessen,
Yes.
and Counselor Brennan.
Yes.
Unanimous. I'm just going to confirm with the clerk here. So the next motion is a motion to adjourn the special meeting. Do we need a recorded vote for that, or be allowed? What? Okay, so the clerk is advising that we can do the motion to adjourn without a recorded vote. So maybe just if Bill can unmute everybody, and when I call the vote, everybody can just say yes. So a motion to adjourn our special, our election meeting. A mover and seconder.
Councillor Rock.
Councillor Rock and Councillor DeVito. Okay, if Bill, you can unmute everybody, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, and that's carried. Thank you very much. Okay, now I'm going to call to order our regularly scheduled council meeting for Tuesday, March 24th. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Okay, seeing none. As with the first meeting, things look very different with the way of meeting, and I want to thank the staff and the IT department for getting us up to this platform as quickly as they did. I think that our residents will benefit greatly to know that the business of Middlesex County can continue in days of the declared emergency. So I just want to remind everybody that we're in the state that we are because we're in the middle of a COVID-19 global pandemic, and the province and Middlesex County have declared emergencies. I want to remind everybody that the agenda for this meeting has been posted publicly. The general public and the press are able to watch and hear the business to be carried out at this meeting by using the online streaming service as noted in the agenda. Council members will be able to provide input into the meetings electronically through video and or audio teleconference. And that delegations could provide input into the meetings electronically through video and or audio teleconference, but it should be noted that there were no delegations scheduled for this meeting. Okay, so bear with us, everybody. Here we go. You've got the minutes from our budget meeting on March the 10th in front of you. If I can get a mover and a seconder to approve the meeting minutes for the budget meeting as presented. Mover and seconder, please.
Approved, Mayhew.
Councillor Mayhew. And a seconder,
Counselor Elliott?
Councillor Brennan.
Elliott. All in favor, and we'll pass it to Kathy.
Counselor Brennan,
Yes.
Warden Burkhart Jessen,
Yes.
Counselor Cornelison,
Yes.
Counselor DeVeet,
Yes.
Counselor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Mayhew,
Yes.
Counselor Richards,
Yes.
Counselor Roth,
Yes.
Counselor Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Vanderhayden,
Yes.
Counselor Warwick.
Yes.
Unanimous. Those are passed unanimously. And then the minutes for the Middlesex County Council meeting held on March. Can I get a mover and a seconder to approve those as presented?
So moved. Kathy, Brad?
Councillor Richards
DeVeet.
and Councillor DeVeet.
Kathy Burkhart, just a point of order before you keep going, Bill Rayburn here. I'm not convinced that we need to do the roll call with everybody on video. I'm not really sure why that's necessary. If we had people participating by audio only, that would make more sense. But since everybody that's a council member is participating by video, we can simply keep track of it by raising your hand the same way you would normally. I think this is an overstep that's taking too much time. So if you're okay with that, I think we'll just have you call the order and then have people raise their hand, yay or nay, when you do it like you normally do.
So I'm fine with that. It just should be noted that because of the setup of like this platform, I can't see everybody and neither can Kathy because we're seeing the agenda in front of us. So you're the one that's going to keep track of that, Bill.
Yep, no problem. If you on gallery view, it's easy to see for me and probably for everybody else too. If you just hit gallery view, then you can see that.
But I guess, anyways, just I can't.
No problem. I will do that for you.
Okay.
Because I think we'll be here till 5 o'clock if you keep doing it the way we're doing it. So.
Okay, that's fine. If that's what we think, then that's what we think. Okay, so a mover, and so I've got Councillor Richards and Councillor DeVeet have moved and seconded the approval as presented of the council meeting minutes for March the 10th. All in favor, raise your hand, please.
Now, all opposed? It's carried unanimously.
I assume that's. And I just want to make note that the minutes from the closed session that we had at our last meeting will be approved at our, I guess, physical meeting, so to speak. So we don't have any deputations, any inquiries or notices of motion. Okay, no reports, New business. We have in front of us an FCM nomination. Councillor Vander Hayden is requesting permission to submit her name for the FCM Board of Directors for 2020 to 2022. I don't know if you wanted to say anything, Joanne, but I would think that we would wholeheartedly support Councillor Vander Hayden in the work that she's doing with FCM. I think that she's on a great track right now with FCM, and I think we should all be supportive of this.
Go ahead, Joanne.
I'll move the motion. Mayhew.
Okay. Can I get a second? Can I just before you speak, Joanne, can I get a seconder for it since Alan's already moved it?
I'll second it, Kathy.
Okay, Councillor Richards. Okay, Joanne? Or Councillor Vander Hayden?
Much to add, thank you, Madam Warden. There's not too much that I need to add at this point. I can tell you that I've been on the phone calls with the FCM over the last week, just as much as I've been with every other organization trying to move our municipalities and our issues forward. So thank you for your support.
Okay, that's great. All right, so all in favor of the nomination for Councillor Vander Hayden? Please raise your hands. Is there any?
We're all good.
Okay, all good. And that's carried.
Nobody's opposed. Yeah.
Perfect. That's great, Joanne. I think this will be exciting times for you as you work with FCM, and we wish you the best of luck. Okay, we have in front of us a report from Chief Neil Roberts with regards to response time. And I'm not sure if Neil's on the line or if it's Mike that's going to be doing the
Both Neil's here, actually.
So,
Go ahead, Neil.
thank you, Bill. Thank you, Warden, and through you to members of County Council. So the report that is before you is an update on our 2018 legislative response time report for Middlesex London Paramedic Services. It is a report that comes to Council every year around March. We're required to submit the report to the Ministry of Health no later than March 31st. In the report itself, you'll note for the 2019 year, Middlesex London Paramedic Service was compliant in all areas except what's called our CTAS, Canadian Triage Acuity Scale Level 2 calls. Part of this would be as a result, when we've looked at our data, as a result of the increasing call demand that Council is aware of. Also the fact that we do not control our dispatch, and if we're busy dealing with high call volumes or offloads, then neighboring services or counties are required to respond, which increases our response times, or if we're busy trying to clear vehicles from offload delays, that also impacts our response time. So we're obviously carefully monitoring this. We've also put in some requests for additional resources in 2020 as part of the 2020 budget. And we'll continue to liaise with our Ministry of Health Central Ambulance Communication Center on how to better improve our response times. That's a high level, but Council has a report before them. I'm happy to address any questions or concerns that County Council may have. Back to you, Warden. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Neil. Are there any questions from Council at this time? Okay, I'm not seeing any, Bill. Are you? Okay, can I get a mover and seconder to receive the report as presented?
Joanne?
So moved. Mayhew.
Councillor Vander Hayden and Councillor Mayhew. All in favor? I think we're good.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on. The 2020 budget recommendations. We've got a report in front of us from Cindy. Cindy, did you want to speak to us at this time?
Thanks, through the warden. The budget has been updated to include the budget recommendations at the March 10th, 2020 meeting and to be in line with budget committee recommendations. 25,000 for SCORE has been added back into the governance budget, and the tax rate stabilization has been updated as required. Recommending that County Council approve the 2020 taxation requirement of 44,630,371. Thanks, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you for that, Cindy. And any questions for Cindy?
Cindy, what did the tax rate increase come in at on that? Was there? Or is that number available?
Yes, it is. It's on your schedule, 1%.
Okay, got it. Okay, see it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Roth, I think you had a question.
I do, and it's just a comment that I'd like to throw out there with, in light of the COVID-19 and the number of people that aren't working, and there may be more working, would council consider taking from reserves for this year the extra money to make it a zero? And I'm just throwing that out there for council discussion in light of what's going on.
Any comments on that?
I would add, I'm all right either way. I'm just throwing it out there to see if what council thinks.
Joanne?
Councillor Vanderheden?
We've got room in our reserves to make up that 1%, so I wouldn't have an issue with that myself at this point, because I know that each of the municipalities in the lower tiers are going to have some issues going forward with all of this going on.
Or Elliot, did you have a question or comment? Oh, I thought.
No.
Okay, sorry, I thought I saw. Any other comments on that?
I'd like to make a comment.
Mr. Warwick?
I agree with the idea behind it. I just wonder if, you know, that kind of decision shouldn't have been made like 2 minutes before we take the vote. I just feel that it's a little bit hard to get our heads wrapped around the significance of what's happening if it seems that something that we should have maybe talked about a little bit further. But that's just my feeling.
Just on that, Warden, maybe to help move the discussion along, what I'd recommend is that we pass this the way it is, and we will be having another meeting probably in the next 2 weeks to talk about economic impact of what's happening. And I would also suggest to you that I think Brian is generally referring to tax relief and not so much just this percentage points. And tax relief options are something that we're going to have to discuss. Economic impact analysis are what we're going to have to discuss. And I think that's a whole meeting's worth of discussion, frankly. And I think that's Allison's point. And I think that we will be back to you probably within, I think before a next regular scheduled meeting, to have a broader discussion about economic impact, about what we're feeling, and get updates. Kara, I've asked Kara to do a lot of work on the survey and finding out where we are economically. By then, we'll know more about the economic stimulus package that's coming from the federal government. We'll know more about infrastructure funding. So I think for now, we have a statutory requirement to get this information out the door right now, but we have some things we can do after the fact to address Brian's concern.
Okay, Councillor Roth?
Yeah, just to follow up on that, I'm good with that, Bill. I like that idea. That does show that we're going to approach that issue in a bigger scale. So yeah, I'm good with that. Thank you.
All right. Thank
So
you. Yep.
it's Joanne.
Yeah, Councillor Vanderheden?
Hello?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you could hear me. It's Joanne. I have no problem waiting, as long as by waiting that we're not closing the door, that we do have options going forward, because we're going to set a tax rate shortly in the next point, and so or 2 points from now. So we will still have options to backtrack? Like once we get past this point, is this the point of no return? We're now going to just do other projects, or how's that going to run out?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that's part of the benefit of waiting, is that I fully expect that we're going to have, like many municipalities are trying to figure this out right now. In fact, your treasurer locally was on a call this morning with the MFOA talking about tax relief options and how that works. I don't know. I think that the province is going to give us some tools to address this type of thing going forward, but I don't know the answer to what, if it's tax relief specifically that you're looking to do. I think that we're going to get some flexibility on it. Right now, we only have the rules that we have, and that is that we have to get something out by the end of March, so let the lower tiers know. But I don't think tax relief is the only thing you can do. I think there are a myriad of options, and I just wouldn't want you to, I would not want to see you only think about that, because I think there are other things we can do. This money would be coming from reserves that Brian suggested, and so I'm confident that there'll be ways to adjust this going forward that we just don't have in our toolbox at the moment. I know that didn't answer your question perfectly, because what you'd want me to say is, yes, we have options now. Frankly, I didn't have the option to do this meeting 2 weeks ago. So I think there's lots coming. The fact that there's lots of talk at the provincial level about how we can provide tax relief, while at the same time having to get a tax rate out legislatively, is not a topic that is not being discussed. So I think it will come, that you'll have other options. I just don't have them right today.
Okay, then I guess my follow-up question, if I could, Madam Warden, is
Yes.
Once we set the tax rate, now we're stuck with that tax rate, no matter, like, I don't, this is a turning point. This is a point where I don't know whether we can go backwards or what's happening forwards. And that's why we wanted to have the discussion now, because now is the only time that we can change this. I don't know. I'm still fearful that once we set the tax rate, that's it.
Well, I think that is the case for now, Madam Warden. I think that once you set the tax rate, that is it. I think that there will be some legislative change coming forward, but I can't promise it to you because it's just not here yet.
Okay, did you have anything else, Councillor Vanderheyden? Councillor Warwick.
Yeah, I again, I understand that there's, that feeling out there that we need to be able to take care of people and to make sure, but I think people are expecting a tax rate of 1%, and then the majority of people are going to be okay with that. There's going to be the people that are going to be in dire straits, and I think we need to keep our reserves open to help those people with their specific issues. And small business owners, medium business owners as well. So I think, a 1% tax rate coming down the pipes is not an unreasonable thing. And if somebody has troubles with that, then we can figure out something out for them at a later date.
Madam Warden?
Councillor DeVete, and then Councillor Pugh.
Through the warden to the council, I think taking an integrated look at things when we have more information makes more sense. Announcements are coming almost daily, and they're targeting specific demographics and specific segments of the population, businesses and individuals. Those who really are going to be looking to get help with meeting even basic needs are going to need different help than businesses, than households of seniors and so forth. I think waiting until we have all of the information and making sure we do the best thing we can for everyone makes more sense than doing one thing right now without knowing all of the information and all of the programs that will be available, including how our costs as municipalities will be offset through emergency monies. So I would support waiting and working with a full deck, if you will.
Okay, Councillor Mayhew.
Yes, thank you, Madam Warden. I think a more targeted approach to divesting money might have its benefits. We find the public sector employees rather, are not going to feel the ramifications of COVID-19 as independent business are. And by taking a shotgun blast at everything, I'm really wondering if we, with more information, we could target monies to where they are most needed and what situations are most critical. The financial ramifications of this are brutal to some people, where other people, it's just a mere inconvenience and not financial distress. And by targeting the allocations of funds, that may be better governance. Thank you, Madam Warden.
Thank you. Any other comments or concerns over Councillor Rock brought up?
Warden, Councillor Elliott.
Yeah, Councillor Elliott.
Oh, I'm sorry. Through your Warden to Council, I would agree in that maybe putting it down to a 0% tax increase isn't necessarily the best answer to what people need. And I would agree with the comments that Lord DeVete made, and that we can maybe take a more targeted approach if we wait and see what it is exactly people. I'm not really sure a 0% tax increase or leaving it at 0% is what people need right at this moment.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Madam Warden, Bill here.
Yep. Councillor Rock, say something. Hold on, and then I'll turn it over to you, Councillor Rock.
Okay, I agree that this isn't the ultimate answer. I just threw this comment out here for us to look at. I agree that there's a lot more that we're going to have to look at. It has created good conversation, I will say that. And so we're all on the same wavelength. I'm sure that we're going to do what we can to help. And that was my comment for talking about this to begin with. So yeah, I don't have any problem with what people are saying. I think everybody's looking at this whole thing to do as much as we can and whatever we can going forward.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Bill.
The other thing, as I said, this is probably a half day to a full day conversation we could have on this topic, because as you know, I've been meeting about every day and a half on average with our local CAOs. And during the conversation today, we discussed what's going on just in the social services world. You know, we're talking about individuals and businesses and corporations, and but what happens if we lose childcare centers during this time period? What happens if we lose social service agencies during this time period that need support? What if we lose nonprofits? What about hospital fundraising that is going down the tubes right now because of this? It's a long laundry list of things that there's no chance we're going to be able to address on our own. And so getting a better window of what the supports are, and then being able to give you a fulsome picture beyond just taxation, I think is going to be important. We even had a conversation this morning, the warden will tell you, a little bit about setting up something like the London Community Foundation and what that might mean for helping out social service agencies that are going to be in need after this. So there's lots and lots to think about, and there's a reason why we're doing about 14 to 15 conference calls a day, because I'm hearing from all kinds of different agencies about the challenges that they're having, and businesses and individuals. It's a very difficult time.
Okay, so if there's no other comments on that. Oh, here. I just lost everybody. Okay, if there's no other comments, you do have a motion in front of you to approve the budget, essentially. So can I get a mover and seconder for that? Councillor Warwick. And a seconder.
Councillor Cornelison.
Councillor Cornelison. And this one, we're just going to do a show of hands as well. Bill, you think we can do that for the budget? Okay. All in favor? And it looks like that. All opposed?
Just one.
Okay. And then
two, sorry, Ina and Joanne, yeah.
No, I think Ina, she voted in favor. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. There must be a delay at my end. I apologize. Or she's really long holding her hand up. I'm not sure.
Okay, so that is carried. I do think that all the comments that that were shared around the new horseshoe, I think are all very valid, and I think it's first and foremost at the top of all of our minds. But what can we do as municipal leaders to help those in our community, whether they range from residents to businesses to foundations, that sort of thing. And so I certainly don't imagine that this conversation has ended. I believe that this is really warranting a larger discussion. Okay, moving on. Appointment to Middlesex County Communities and Wellbeing Steering Committee. You have a report and a recommendation from me, but Morgan, can you just speak to this? You were involved in the initial meeting, and I think everybody will remember when the committee idea was brought to County Council. It was going to be made up of all the lower tier CAOs, but Morgan can speak to at that meeting. It was felt that perhaps there should be some elected representation on it. So Morgan, can you just speak to the report a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Madam Warden. Through you to the rest of council. So in front of you folks, there's a report recommending the Warden and Councillor Corneliussen's participation on the Project Steering Committee. The Project Steering Committee is made up of the local CAOs and Cindy Howard. And basically this committee is going to oversee the development of our community safety and wellbeing plan. And the group just thought that it would be good to have a couple of county council representatives on the project steering committee. So we have a recommendation to propose the Warden and Councillor Corneliussen's participation.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, seeing none, can I get a mover and seconder for that, please? Councillor Mayhew and
Councillor Richards.
all in favor? And that's carried. Thank you very much. Okay, and then this, of course, was referred to earlier, but I'm going to turn it over to Cindy again with a report with regards to the 2020 tax ratios.
Thanks. Through the Warden. The county is responsible for setting of the general property tax policy. This involves setting tax ratios, which is the difference in the rate paid by different classes of property. Table 1 of your report outlines the 2019 ratios and the 2020 start ratios, along with the range of fairness and threshold ratios. The majority of the issues, options, and opportunities are the same as in previous years. However, I would like to note that this is the last year of the current impact reassessment period, and in 2020, impact will be completing the reassessments for the next 4 years. And definitely will be a time to look at the tax ratios again. So today I'm recommending to County Council that the 2020 tax ratios for the County of Middlesex remain the same as 2019 as listed in the report. Thanks, and of course I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for Cindy on this? Okay, seeing none, you've got the recommendation in front of you. I just need a mover and seconder for Councillor and
Joanne.
And all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much. Okay, councillors' comment and other business. Any comment?
I've got a question.
Councillor Vanderhaden.
Thank you. And this came up at our office this morning. There are some municipalities there, such as Ingersoll, who are doing this, and we were confused as to why this would happen. And this is regards to are any municipalities breaking down your staff and services between essential and non-essential services? Ingersoll, what they're doing is they're saying that their park staff are non-essential, so they're laying them off. We don't think that ours are non-essential. So is anybody else going through that, or is this something that the CAOs maybe could chat about?
So actually, that's a very good point, Joanne, because as Bill said, I was on the CAO call earlier today, and it was actually a point of discussion. Bill, I don't know if you wanted to weigh in on that, but certainly the feeling that I got from all of our local CAOs on that discussion that we're not breaking down between essential and non-essential.
Yeah, across the county, that doesn't appear to be the case. I can just give you some background as to why that is happening, and it has to do with, of course, the provincial legislation yesterday. There was a section in there that said all other government services are to be allowed to continue. For some folks, they've interpreted that as essential government services as opposed to just government services. And you could make an argument, I think, that almost all municipal services are essential services. It just depends on who you ask. But that's why they're asking that question. And the other reason they're asking that question is because if you take what happened in Ontario yesterday, it was very much of a California type of solution where we want everybody, we don't want to call it a lockdown, but we want everybody to stay at home. But we're still going to allow you to do these myriad of things. Now, the premiers and the prime minister met yesterday to talk about something even broader than that. So if you go to the extreme, it's not called the War Measures Act anymore. I forget what it's called now. But if you go to that far extreme to the right of keeping people in place in their home, what is essential then? And in that case, grass cutting isn't essential, and some things aren't essential. There are things that need to be done to provide services and to protect people. But when we get to this further extreme, because there is a chance you're going to get further and further right as we go forward, we're trying to get ahead as the local CAOs and the county CEO, trying to get ahead of some of these questions. And so that's why the question's being asked. But it was pointed out this morning, it was probably a good 25, 30 minutes of our discussion this morning, that the majority of local municipality services are essential because you got water and sewer and fire. And then are there things you can break down like recreation and grass cutting and other things that are considered non-essential? Maybe. But I think we're going to see more of that as we get further to the right on trying to keep people home.
Did you have any follow-up on that, Councillor Vanderhaden?
Thank you. I have a second question. If you want somebody else first.
No, you can go ahead.
No, that's good, Madam Warden. No, that's it. That's it, Madam Warden. Thanks. But I do have one more question, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that, because I've got all my partners here, my colleagues, firefighters, we were talking about that too. And with the training that we have with all our new people, there's timelines. So say, for example, their DZ license, they've written their exams, they're now they're practicing for their DZ, but now we've cut off all training because that puts too many bodies in one place. Is there something that maybe we should ask the province to those timelines maybe can be extended again? Not a county issue, it's just something I want to throw out to for my colleagues.
Okay, so you got a little one there, but I think what you're asking is, should we be lobbying the province to extend any sort of deadlines or date requirements for licensing for DZ with regards to the firefighters?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else is having those same issues with their department, or maybe is this something that could be discussed at the CAO level? Or does some...
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that what we're trying to do is, and I think your CAOs are doing a good job of gathering information from each of you and then bringing it to our group. But there is a list of things that we're trying to put into the minister's office fairly regularly. Hey, can you consider this? Can you consider that? Can you consider this? So please keep sending those things in, because like tax relief provisions is another good example where we say, hey, we need, and here's a backgrounder on that. So the more of those things you give us, and frankly, they've been amazing at responding with, I'm shocked that I'm just really pleased that everybody's pulling the rope so hard to try and address some of these issues that are things that normally you don't see changed. You're seeing some relief from these things. So please keep sending those in either through your local CAO or to me directly, because I am keeping a list and sending it in fairly regularly, like about every second day.
Any other comments from any of?
Just on that, Madam Warden, also, if you hear things from your businesses, I was talking to a business the other day that was talking about tax credits, and this is a complicated issue, so I won't explain it all, but it was a tax credit issue, and them getting money back from tax credits. And if the government shuts down, they're not getting their tax credits back, which can bankrupt. So this company was impacted by $2.8 million, and with the province shutting down, they could not get that money back for a long time because they have to be audited. So my point is, if you hear things from your businesses, send them to Kara or to me with a backgrounder, but Kara first, hopefully, because I'm trying to collate all this stuff, and say, hey, this is what my businesses are complaining about, and they wish they could get relief on X, Y, or Z, because they've been really good at responding on that as well. So it's not just about municipal stuff. Anything you're hearing from the community where you go, it's a new normal and we need help, I need to know what that is.
I have one more question if nobody else has.
Okay, I don't think anybody else does, so go ahead, Councillor Vanderheyden.
This is through the warden to Kara. One of our councillors today was asking me about if there is a place where everybody that's looking for employees is listed. So Bondwell, I know, is looking, and I know that Loblaws Group is looking, and I heard that Shoppers and Superstore were looking, and delivery people they're asking for. Is there a place where that's all gathered in one information so we can send people to a spot?
So through you, Warden, the best place to look right now is still workmiddlesex.ca. We've been trying to ensure and work with Community Employment Choices to ensure that those things are posted. We also do that on Invest in Middlesex. So if you're linked into our social media feeds, you'll see every post, and some of those end up being really small businesses that are gearing up right now, particularly in agri-food and tourism for the next season. So you'll see a lot of postings there. I'm also working directly with some of our businesses to try and match them. For example, we have a major tourism and hospitality business in London that has several restaurants and bars that contacted me trying to match their employees with some of the agri-food requirements right now out in the county, and particularly at Bondwell. So they've been personally matched to try to see if they can take some of those laid off employees and put them right into effect. So keep an eye on Work in Middlesex, keep an eye on Invest in Middlesex. And then there's been some discussion as well about a regional task force for workforce development for the next little while in terms of employee matching as well. I know Dimitri and Strathroy is pinged in with that on me, and he wrote me this morning. We don't have any dates yet set, but there's been discussion about that being put together very soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, last call for comments. Okay, seeing none, we're going to move into the bylaws. So I'm going to pass the iPad over to Kathy for this part.
The confirming bylaw has been moved to the very end of the meeting. So we have bylaw 7031, a bylaw to authorize the warden and the Strathmere Lodge administrator to sign the long-term care home service accountability agreement, a bylaw to provide for remuneration and expenses, including convention expenses payable to members of council, a bylaw to provide for remuneration payable to the warden, a bylaw to adopt the 2020 budget of the County of Middlesex, and a bylaw to adopt tax rates and the payment schedule of the 2020 levy by the lower tier municipalities.
Okay, can I get a mover and seconder for the first and second reading?
So moved, maybe.
Counselor Mayhew. And seconder, Counselor Smith.
Counselor Brennan.
And all in favor? All in favor? And that is carried. Joanne's opposed.
Yeah, because you've still got the budget one in there, and I voted against it in the first place, so I can't vote for it. So then I have to do all of them, sorry.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
I'm not against all of them.
So that's still carried though. And the third and final reading, mover and seconder, please. Councillor
Move, David.
And Councillor David. All in favor? And all opposed? And that's carried. Okay, moving into the committee of the whole. For count officers, action items. Dirk, North Middlesex official plan amendment 12 for McCann Ready Mix Incorporated and William and James McCann.
Thank you. And through the warden. So the McCann Ready Mix have applied to amend the North Middlesex official plan, and it would change the designation of the subject lands from resource extraction area to an agricultural area. And really it recognizes the fact that the aggregate licenses on these two properties that are adjacent to each other have been surrendered, and it's been rehabilitated back to an agricultural state. You know, we've had similar applications like this, I think one last year before you, and you know, the policies, the provincial policy, the county's official plan and the local official plans all look at aggregate within an agricultural area as an interim use with it to be returned to agriculture. And so that's, you know, sort of the end result that it's occurring here. So I would just note that there were no written submissions in opposition to it during the local process, and the county has similarly received no concerns. So it is my opinion that amendment number 12 is consistent with the provincial policy statement and conforms to our local planning policies. And so I am recommending approval.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this report? Councillor Rock.
No, I'll move the recommendation.
Good. Okay. And seconded.
I'll do that, Cornelison.
Okay. Nelson. And if there aren't any questions or comments on that. Oh, Councillor Warwick.
No, all in favor.
All in favor then. I'll call the vote. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, next item is provincially required annual quality improvement plan 2020-2021. And this report is from Brent Kerwin, Strathmere. Brent.
Yes, Warden, can you hear me?
I can.
Very
Everybody
good.
else get you?
Good afternoon, everyone, and through you, Warden, to Council. I just want to remind Council that it's Health Quality Ontario, the provincial body that's requiring an annual quality improvement plan. Of course, that's for all long-term care homes, hospitals, and primary care centers. And as part of that, the governing body of organizations need to approve the plan. It's the largest quality improvement committee. It's on plan content annually, and then monitors that plan throughout and makes changes as necessary. For our 2020-21 plan, the committee is identified or has identified two focus areas. One is pressure injuries, otherwise known as bed sores. And that's actually a carryover from our 2019-2020 plan. And then the second focus is urinary tract infections, or UTIs for short. In both cases, the Lodge is slightly underperforming when we do look at provincial data averages, and we do get quarterly data that gives us comparative data. In both of these focus areas, specifically what we're going to do is we're going to adhere to best practice guidelines, and we're going to review those guidelines and educate the staff on those guidelines And then we're going to audit the staff and make sure that they're following those guidelines. So with that, I am recommending to council that that it approves the 2020-2021 quality improvement plan, and that the necessary bylaw be presented to council to authorize the warden and county clerk to execute plan approval on behalf of the county. Happy to entertain questions on the plan.
Okay, any questions on Brent's report or the plan? Okay, seeing none, I can get a move seconder for that, please. Councillor Smith and Councillor Warwick. All in favor? And that is carried. And just before we move on, I think everybody saw the video that was shared last night from Strathmere and Brent. That was awesome, and it was certainly great to see, and congratulations to everybody that was involved in that. Certainly it created, or it provided much needed joy and smiles during this time. So thank you very much for that.
Agreed, and thank you.
Okay, moving on to our correspondence and information items. The first one, the 2019 Remuneration and Expenses Report. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, two, the Public Sector Salary Disclosure Report. Okay, mover and seconder for those items, please. Be received.
So moved, Mayhew.
Councillor Mayhew and Councillor Brennan. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, any inquiries? Okay, and you've got the list of new business, the list of county council meetings ahead of us. Of course, the next one would be in February. April, sorry, April 14th. I know, exactly, going backwards in time. And just a note, I think we've all seen the announcements further on with regards to Middlesex being just put on hold at the moment. Okay, and with that, we're going to have to take a 5-minute recess while the clerk, Kathy, prepares the minutes. And I just wanted to, just before we go into that recess, I just want to thank everybody again. I know there's a couple of sound issues that we have had a little bit difficult at the beginning of the meeting. But I, again, want to thank everybody for bearing through that, and of course the support of our IT department have been with us in the county building all afternoon, and Morgan and his team is definitely doing a great job on this. So thank you very much. And with that, we'll take a recess. Once again, don't leave, and Kathy will let us know when she's got the minutes ready. unmute. Okay, so Morgan's put the minutes from our meeting up in front of you. If you guys can just take a look through those. So see when he puts that up, then I can't get the gallery view. Oh, I guess I should mute. I should mute. All right. If everybody has had a chance to look at the minutes, then I need to have a mover and a seconder to approve the meeting of Middlesex County Council held on March 24th as presented. A mover and seconder for that, please. Councillor Brennan and Councillor DeVitt, and all in favor. Okay, and those are carried. And then we have in front of us a bylaw to confirm the proceedings number 7036 of the Council of the Corporation of the County of Middlesex. First and second reading. A mover and seconder, Councillor Warwick and Councillor Elliott. All in favor? And that is carried. And opposed? Okay. And the third and final reading of the confirming bylaw, mover and seconder, please. Councillor Mayhew. And a seconder. Councillor Rock. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay.
I like how Brian votes in 3D.
And as I mentioned, Middlesex Day is on hold, and we do have a awards banquet November 14th. And hopefully by then, meetings of more than 50 can happen. But until then, I wish you guys all the best of luck. As we all know, things are changing from day to day. And I think everybody is rising to the occasion from your staff, everybody. So congratulations. And with that, can I get a motion to can I get a motion to Councillor Vanderhayden and Councillor, who's going to help the turn? Councillor Elliott, and it is 2:17. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you very much, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.